You make forum, so that's good.
We're so happy.
I am.
On her way, she was coming.
Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
she was stopping at, I think she was stopping at the ladies' room first.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
We're hoping, we're hoping to get 4 people, so we got the 4.
that's right. All right, seeing as how it's 6:06, we have a forum now. We'll get our school board meeting started. And if you'll all rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. So, first we will do the minutes and then we'll do public comment and then we'll get into business. I'd love to have a motion that Destination Imagination can bump up in the agenda so that they can wow us with their presentation. All right, first on the agenda, we have a bunch of minutes from the last couple of meetings. We have public and non-public of 222. We have public from 228, and we have public from 315.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the public and non-public minutes of 222.
Okay, 222, and second?
Second.
Danielle, second. All right, comments and discussion on those.
I didn't have anything.
I didn't notice anything pop out to me. Pretty good. All right, that being said, all those in favor of approving the minutes, public and non-public, of February 22nd, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? And abstentions?
Me.
All right, me abstaining. And so that is 401. All right. Minutes from 228.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 28th.
Second.
All right, and Daniel second. Any discussion, comments on those?
I have something.
Sure.
Okay, on page 4, at the end of that paragraph, line 16, I wish that it would reflect that I also shared with the board copy of the CDC guidance regarding buses and for buses, public and non-public in the school setting. And then I have some more. I have a question about line 19, where Cookie stated if we needed to make changes, we can do it on the March 15th meeting, but there was nothing on the agenda for that. So are we carrying it forward, or is it a non-issue?
What is the current status of masks on buses? It's still on, right?
That is going to be discussed during my superintendent's
Yeah.
report.
Okay, then, there we
Yeah,
go.
that's good. Okay, and then line 25 on the same page. It says that masks will be available for anyone who needs one, both N95 and paper masks. And I looked on the March 15th meeting and I did not see any masks available in the lobby. And I looked again today and there were no masks in the lobby. So if they're available, can we put them out?
Absolutely. So we did not put out the N95s for fear of running out of them, so it's not a free grab.
Yeah.
Some of the other schools do have them out as free grab, but I'll make sure that, I'm not gonna put that here in the minutes, but I will make sure that, Rob will make sure that those masks are out and available to people. We should have just a regular box of paper masks.
Anytime we have public events.
It's only for correction. She did state that though. I mean, this is only for correcting it, it's not discussion. You know what I'm saying? We're only looking for correction of the minutes.
Well,
That we ain't supposed to have a discussion. on the
my
minutes.
question is that accurate? Because it says that in the minutes, are we putting them out or are we not putting them out?
It will be.
It was stated that they would be putting them out. They would be
Yeah.
made available.
They're available.
Well, yeah, I think it's fine, they're available, like in the essence that students could ask at the office for
Or
them.
just,
It depends on what you define as available, I guess.
We can make
Right.
sure that there's some out though.
Right.
They should be
Yeah, we
out.
can,
They
yeah,
should
any
be out.
concerts,
That's
like
just-
that.
I'm not trying to disagree with you, what you're bringing up, I'm just saying the minutes should only reflect on what was discussed. in the minutes, if there's some correction in that minutes that was listed here, what is listed?
I understand what you're saying. I don't think you're comprehending what I'm saying. If
Wow.
it's not going to be available, then we need to fix the minutes. That's what I'm saying.
It was
No.
mentioned at the meeting,
Yes.
It has to be.
so it has to be in the minutes, whether they do it or not.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So the correction
I understand what
is-
you're trying to say, Kathleen,
Yeah.
just if there's a correction in the minutes that as stated, that's what's gonna be brought up.
Right.
Anything that's gotta be discussed that happened to be in another meeting can be discussed tonight during, under old business.
Right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yep.
I thought I was, okay.
Anything else on the 228 minutes?
I'm trying to be,
I know.
I'm not trying to be argumentative.
All right. Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes of 228, signify by saying aye.
I'll
Aye.
stay on that one.
And opposed, and abstentions. All right, on zip, that passes. And we have our meeting from 3:15.
So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for the March 15th meeting.
Okay,
Second.
all right. And discussion, comments, questions? This one looked fine to me. It was just organization, really, and, yeah. All right. Everybody's good with those? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? And abstentions.
I abstain.
All right, 401, Brewster abstains. Okay. All right, up next on our agenda, public comment. We're gonna get to Destination Imagination next, so if there's any other public comment. Anyone out in Zoom land there?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion if someone would like to make one for moving Destination Imagination up to the next order of business.
I'll move it.
All right, Brewster.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of adjusting the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, and abstentions, all right. Up next, Destination Imagination. Come on down. Now, I have a child, my daughter's in this, so I'm a little more familiar, but I want to let them kind of explain, take it away. Yeah, what you did and what you want to do.
All right, so I brought most of the team tonight and okay, so we have brought you our suck and sing, and we've got a little presentation we'll show you that will kind of explain what a suck and sing is. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, first, could you just give like a quick
Oh, sorry.
30-second, what is Destination
Yeah, I
Imagination?
have that in,
Oh, okay.
in the presentation.
Tell me when.
Right now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, wow, you have a presentation.
Well, I didn't know, I don't feel prepared. Yeah. Teacher.
Maybe the group could introduce themselves?
Yeah, why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
What town they're from?
What town you're from, what grade you're in?
I am Silas Chukowski. I'm from Canaan, New Hampshire, and I am in 8th grade.
All right.
I'm Adeline Josephson. I'm also from Canaan, New Hampshire. I'm also in 8th grade.
I'm Arrowfinger from Enfield, and I'm also in 8th grade.
I'm Isaiah Westgate. I'm from Canaan, and I am also in 8th grade.
I'm Isabella Korean from Enfield, and I'm in 7th grade.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. You got your presentation, so take it away.
Yeah, so DI is short for Destination Imagination, and it's really all about like creative problem solving. It's about the kids doing the things instead of the adults, so they get to make all the decisions. I'm really there to make sure they don't like poke themselves, and that's pretty much it. And they get a big challenge that takes most of the year, and they get a short challenge the day of the competition, and it's pretty fun. I think the next one is, yeah. Okay. So our challenge this year was about a trickster who has a tricky situation and has to get out of it. They get some extra points for their choice elements. So the kids created recycled props. They took plastic bags, like hundreds of plastic bags that I hoarded, and they cut them all into strips, turned it into yarn, and then wove all these outfits. out of them. They also wrote a song called Uptown Suck It Up to go with our little device here. And then they have an instant challenge that takes about 8 minutes. They don't get to know what it is until they get there to really test how good they're at thinking on their feet. Yeah, I mean, this is to give you an idea of kind of what it looked like. Because of the COVID restrictions, it was like a closed room with just the judges, but the kids got to do their performance. Basically, the skit revolves around a trickster that's selling this device called the sucking sting. So it is, there's a party in the front and, no, what is it?
Clean up in the front.
Clean up in the front, party in the back. So it's half vacuum cleaner, half karaoke machine, and it's pretty deluxe. And if we can go next. We basically blew them out of the water, which is pretty great. So we had, we got number 1 for the challenge, so they liked us a lot. Got number 2 for our side trips, and we can't talk about the instant challenge, but that's fine. And the point is, we got second, which is really exciting, so now we're going to globals. There are, there were like a lot of really good feedback, a lot of comments from the judges that they really liked what the kids have done. And again, it's like totally the kids doing these things. I don't help them with anything. So it's nice that they get recognized for doing such a nice job. So we really like to go to globals because it's a unique experience for the kids. They get to go out and do some stuff on their own, be a little bit more independent. They also find that there are other kids out there that are like them, that think that puns and creativity are really important. So they make some like lifelong connections, and it's really just like a great experience to find out there's more people like you out there. So the globals runs from May 21st to 24th. We would need to fly in a day early, and then we would probably wait until after closing ceremonies, which it sounds like maybe end at 9 on the 24th, to fly out the next day. So it will take almost a week of time. And so one question we have is about chaperones. I asked around a little bit, but I guess there haven't been like a lot of middle school field trips lately, and especially not middle school overnight field trips to an international event. So we'd like a little guidance on that. We have Mallory has been voluntold that he could come, that's my husband, and April Guinness has also offered. She's been involved in DI in the past, and we have lots of parent offers too, so we definitely can cover chaperones easily. Just a little like health and, you did this one. The health and safety stuff is like, they're following most of the COVID recommendations. Everyone's gonna wear masks. It's very secure. The kids get little passes that they wear that allow them only into certain areas so they don't get, themselves into the wrong spot. They have security all over the place to kind of make sure everybody is doing what they're supposed to and doesn't get lost and has health. And they do bag checks, and they have a phone alert system. This is a program that's been running for a long time, so they really have figured out how to get a large group of people in and out of the city in less than a week. So the tournament cost cost $5,500. There is a chance to get a free pass through a weekly raffle, which I didn't win this week, but maybe next week. We do need to have a deposit in by April 13th in order to make sure that we can go, of $1,500. We also, in addition to the deposit, need to book some sort of place to stay, because again, it was like an international event. People are planning to stay for this week, and so things are going to book up pretty fast, so we'd like to be able to do that soon. It looks like whether we get a hotel block or we get an Airbnb, which is another option a lot of teams have been doing, I guess, it's about $150 a night per room, so we need to plan for that. And flights, you can see, so if we get flights for the 6 kids plus 2 adults, it's going to be somewhere in the 4,000 range right now. I mean, the longer we wait, the more it goes up, but there are luckily like a lot of flights in, so we have options. I don't think it'll fill up soon. And in addition to that, we have to get our props down, but like the second thing's a little bulky for the plane ride, so we need to have some way to do it. The probably best option for us this year is to do what's called the prop truck. New Hampshire and Massachusetts share a truck that goes down. We get 2 pallets worth of area to pack stuff in, and then it ships down. And they said to expect 300 minimum, but the gas prices are going up, so plan for more. Okay, more fun things instead of,
Mhm.
downers. So there's pin trading, which is like a really great thing we'd like to be able to have the kids take part in. The kids get pins, these are special New Hampshire pins, so the only way to get a pin that looks like this is to trade with a New Hampshire kid. Because New Hampshire is a smaller state, it makes it like a hot commodity. So it's kind of fun, you get to meet other kids by trading pins with them. You can keep these forever. I got to go to Globals a few times and I still have my pins from like South Korea and stuff like that. And it's like fun to be able to visit with people. And it makes it so like awkward middle school interactions are more fun, I guess. So that brings probably the funding needs to about $12,500. In the past, there has been a Burn Foundation grant that has helped cover some of the going to global stuff. I don't know, there may still be a high school DI fund there because they were going to globals pretty regularly, and that could be an option where these kids are 7th and 8th grade, they are most likely going to be the high school team, so we're not sort of taking someone else's. We have had several donation offers. Holly West has already pledged money to us, which is really nice, so we're hoping we can continue that. The kids have brainstormed a whole bunch of potential fundraisers that we would be interested in doing as well. So we'd like to help raise the funds, but we are looking to at least get in the deposits and stuff pretty quickly. Thank you for your time.
Cool. All right. Any questions for them?
I missed where they're going. Where are they going?
Kansas City.
Yeah, I actually think
I
they
wasn't-
I think it's on the first line, we skipped over.
I missed all that. I didn't know where they were going. International, I'm like, where are they
We're
going?
going to the past, have been in Tennessee.
Tennessee in the past, we're going to Kansas City, Missouri this year.
Can't
I
see.
guess pre-COVID, they did a few years there,
Yeah.
but we didn't send any teams.
And how many people are scheduled to go?
We have 6 on our team, and then we'll take as many adults as you say we should bring. Definitely 2.
Well, usually they usually have at least 2 per 6 people. Because I know when they go on the trips, the 7th and 8th grade, I'm familiar when I went with the 7th and 8th grade. Well, it was the 8th grade, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it all the 8th
DC?
graders? Yeah,
Right.
when I went to Washington DC and Philadelphia, so it was 6 to 1 usually, and usually it was 4. I had to take care of 6 or 5 people, so you got
Yeah.
plenty of chaperones, but only got 6 people going.
Cool.
If 6 are going,
Yes, 6 will definitely go.
definitely going. You
Yeah.
think it'll be more?
No, we can only add 1 more person maximum, but I think at this point we
So
wouldn't.
you got two people for chaperones.
Well, are you going?
I'm going.
You're
so I
going,
would
and then
count
your
myself
other
as
2,
one.
you're voluntold.
Voluntold Matt,
Matt.
as long as that's allowed. We have to
And then
figure
Missy
that
is.
out, but,
That's 3.
Okay,
That's
even
fine,
better, that's
yeah,
3.
no, I mean, I think at least 2, I mean,
At
they
least two,
already
okay.
got at least 2, so.
I think April had offered, she wouldn't necessarily go unless you wanted a 3rd adult.
Okay.
Most of the DI events are scheduled so that like if there was a managers meeting, I would go and the other person would stay. If there's something where both managers were needed, they have somebody else that comes and hangs out with the kids. But these are great kids. They're gonna be fun.
Yeah. Cool.
In what, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. I was
Keep
gonna say, any
adding all
other?
these questions, but,
That's okay.
No, it's good.
is there money already in the, is there money already
We
allotted
have
for this?
academic team travel, what is in the academic team travel
Academic
budget?
team travel for the IRS?
Enough to cover their traveling expenses, absolutely.
Okay,
There is? Okay.
all right. So, I mean, we can start there and then go from that.
Are there other, worries about as far as that account? Like, other people might,
It would leave us, if we are, because it is a travel account, right? So we're bound to pay for the travel, and I think you would be fine. What did you have, Heather, as a rough guesstimate on the travel?
About 4,000.
About 4,000.
Mhm.
I would actually, I'm gonna look up the policy on field trips, but I do believe you need to take an administrator. So if
That's
April is
what we
willing to go, I would put
Yeah.
April
Yeah.
in.
You do.
I do believe I changed that a few years ago.
Yeah, because out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we would probably be
That's
looking at
totally
taking April also, so 3.
Okay.
But yes, we would have, the $5,000 and still leave a cushion for other teams other academic teams to be able to travel.
Okay.
So we could actually approve the deposit for them to start off with, and then we go from there. I mean, we could add on to what they needed after if we made a motion if I made a motion, or anybody made a motion for what they needed before our next meeting is 1,500,
Yes.
or is it 1,550
Yeah.
or?
The way it's set up, I can't click any more buttons until we have flights and until we put the deposit in, but then I can
So
start.
if we approved your deposit to start off with, then we could go from there.
Well, we'd have to do deposit and the money for flights.
What's
And
that?
approve the trip.
And approve the trip, approve money for the flights, and approve money for the deposit for the actual competition.
So but,
Yeah.
okay,
No, I'm just saying, we all right.
what I'm trying to say is if we get them started,
Mhm.
and then what monies comes back,
Mhm.
right, it always goes back into
Yeah.
it, correct? How we worked it, I know the chaperone thing, I know about that too.
I mean, do we have to say
What?
4,000, like 4,000 or up to
Up to-
4,500?
up to 5,000,
Or up to
yeah.
5,000 from academic team travel? And then is there another fund that we could do the deposit?
Rob is looking now to see if
Okay.
there is a destination imagination.
Because the
Yeah.
Byrne Foundation
Yeah.
kicks in a bunch of money for them, and they got the lodging they gotta
Okay.
figure on,
Yeah.
and all those other expenses, I mean, we don't need to deplete. what we're
No,
looking
then
for.
we can see if they do a fundraiser or two.
When they going?
Hmm?
When are they
May.
going?
May 20th, right?
So we could get them going for the deposit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we'll approve the trip, but we can always just hold off on how much more money you gotta hand it to them.
Right, we just gotta see where they're at, so.
Right, see where they're at, and then we can take more money out. You follow what I'm trying to bring up?
I pick up what you're laying down.
Okay. I got the Monopoly money sitting right
Yeah,
here.
Right.
yeah.
Tim,
Yes, go ahead. Yes, sorry.
you touched on fundraising.
Yeah.
Are there any plans for fundraising for your group? It's
We-
rather small, so.
Yes, we have some plans. We have a good DI alumni group in the area still, so we're hoping we can do some fundraisers, pull on some of them for volunteers to help. But in the past, they've done like a spaghetti dinner with donations. We were talking about maybe like a pancake breakfast. There are some other, there's like flower bulb sales or something like that we could do that's pretty painless, and we don't have to put in a whole lot of time, because we do only have 6 members and they have a lot of other activities. We don't want to spend all our time fundraising, but
Right.
definitely we've already immediately on the ride home started planning out what we were gonna do, so.
Nice. Yeah, I would say like a passive type fundraiser, like flower bulbs, so that kids can get their families to sign up for it easily, and
Definitely.
do an event of some sort, kind of get the best of everything.
Do
and-
you know where you're gonna stay? I mean, you said you had 2 options, right?
So, it sounds like the Airbnb is probably the better option, as long as that's approved. I don't know if the school can pay for an Airbnb or how that works, but
I would suggest getting us a letter soon to the Byrne Foundation.
sure.
Yeah,
Because I think that would,
Okay.
I think that will do wonders for this group.
Okay.
and so that,
Yeah.
together.
I would imagine you just get like a house.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, so you get like the whole house. Depending on where you get it, you either can get a rental car, which adds a little extra, or they said there's plenty that are in the area, so we'd be able to walk. We might have to walk like half a mile to get there, but it's, what else are you gonna do that day?
It's
So,
May, it's nice.
yeah, it's May in like the south, so it should be fun. And it sounds like that's the nicer option too, because then you have a kitchen and you don't have to necessarily pay for food at the convention center, so
Yeah,
that can save a lot.
you
Yeah.
guys can be pretty
So you
resourceful.
need to get approval, so you get approval, send a letter to the Byrne Foundation
Sure.
to get that in the works.
Yes.
And I'll make the motion that,
And before you do, any other questions or anything? Any other comments, concerns? All right, you can go
I
ahead.
think
and
making sure, of course, it'd be fun to document your process.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
So that there's an opportunity to showcase and share
absolutely.
all the good work that's happening.
so this group's the one going?
This is it. We have one more who wasn't
One
able
more?
to come tonight, so.
Anything you guys want to say? Or anything?
Is there a demonstration for this
Oh.
sucking thing?
Do you want it? She's not real pumped to do the infomercial that we were talking about.
So you can explain it, Adeline, I saw it, but you can explain it.
I don't wanna spoil the whole.
Do you want it, maybe just if you tell them the songs you created for your second thing, like if
Yeah,
somebody wants to.
yeah, we got, well, part of our team element was to create song puns, and some of them, and they all have to do with vacuums. So we have like Ghost Dusters, Old MacDonald, Who Let the Clogs Out, Another one bites the dust.
Tell them about Taylor, that's the best one.
Oh, yeah. And then we've included artists like Taylor Swiffer and Michael Vaxon, the Vac Eyed Peas. So
It's pretty good. We also have, this is Chester here. So Chester is unfortunately runs in with the vacuum and doesn't make it on the line. So do you want to show them what Chester can do? Yes. Why not?
Is Chester gonna make it?
Not if this skit goes right, Chester.
Oh, no.
So
Cool.
we've got, we're definitely gonna amp up some things. We were missing some scenery because we had to make decisions. Do we want to work on the skit or do we want it? So we're gonna go with hopefully more things, and we've already impressed the judges with just the story that they wrote. So we're gonna add some more in for Chester.
For Chester. Cool. Anything else on the board? All right. then.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very clever.
Go ahead and make a motion now. You want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to go ahead and accept them to go on the trip for,
Okay.
to Kansas City. And, I don't know, we have to put a dollar figure on this or no?
So looking for a motion to go on the trip.
Approve the trip
Approve the trip.
to Missouri.
Yep.
Yeah.
Globals.
$5,000
Up to.
up to $5,000 for travel,
Right,
and then $1,500 for the deposit.
well, that's part of it.
Right.
The deposit, I believe. isn't it?
It's two
It's
separate
separate from
things.
the travel.
Separate things? What about the lodging? We have to give them something for lodging also, I mean.
We don't
basically-
have to have that part just yet.
They don't have, huh?
We don't
I
have to
think
have
you're,
that yet.
I think you're running a slippery slope and using a budget line for travel to provide lodging.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
So I think for now, stick to, and if there is an issue, and I'd like to see an approval for Heather to write a letter to the Byrne Foundation.
yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Even though you won't have read it, if you would approve
Yeah.
for Rob to
Yeah.
proof it and then send it right along.
Okay,
And we'll make sure it talks about matching funds, because we will have given you some funds, and if the Byrne Foundation would match that, I
Absolutely.
think that would be very helpful, and I
Yeah.
think probably that would help with most of the costs.
okay. All right. So,
So,
There's a four-
how do we, see, I'm in a quandary how we're supposed to get this motion put out.
Well,
We
so-
approve-
You want me
I'm
to
gonna
take a stab at it?
take a
I'm
step.
gonna approve it, I mean, you wanna,
I know you want to approve it, it's just how do you word it?
but how do you wanna word it? I mean, as far as
Take
how
a
much
step.
money we're gonna put in.
Yeah, so I'll take a stab at it. So I make a motion that we approve the trip to DI Globals to Missouri that allows the group to send a letter to the Byrne Foundation to request funding and mention the matching funds, and that we approve up to $5,000 from the academic team travel budget line to pay for to get the flights taken care of, and $1,500 from, do we have a specific line to pay for the deposit? Just because those are the two things that are the most time sensitive.
So that'd be $6,500.
Do we know where we can move that 1,500 from?
We'll find
We'll
somewhere.
find it, all right.
So I second her motion.
Okay, and Kathleen seconded the motion. All right, so we have on the floor a motion to approve the trip to Kansas City, approve a letter to the Byrne Foundation from Ms. Oliver, approve up to $5,000 from the academic team travel account, and $1,500 for the deposit for the competition. That sound right? Okay, cool. And yes,
And the only other thing I would say is if the fundraising is very successful and we can replenish the $1,500 deposit,
Yeah.
that would be excellent.
Thank you.
but yeah, well, and then, yeah, this is of course contingent on some little fundraising, and whatever you guys can do, please keep us posted. We're happy to support, so. All right, any further discussion on this? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
All right,
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? All right, go get them.
With that,
Go get them, kids.
did you second it?
Kathleen seconded.
Kathleen, thank you.
I started it.
Yes.
It's all right. There's a lot
I
of
started-
people
I
want.
started, but it got confusing for me, I'm still,
It was long. I'll
Yes.
agree with that.
yeah.
It was a lot to pack in there, so.
Yes.
All right, congrats, kids, and make us proud.
Bring us back more money.
Yeah.
All right,
That's the biggest thing.
up next, we have on our agenda some continuing business, some committee work to go through, communications from February.
So these are not in your packet yet, but I just sent them over this afternoon when I looked at the agenda again and looked in my notebook. This was the meeting on February 10th. Essentially, we talked about the website and app and the types of top pages that were getting traction. They're all things that we've talked about before, including things like food service, school board, because we're coming up to election time, transportation, careers, calendar, athletics, staff directory, library and media. And the interesting use case was the use of news feature, especially at the elementary schools, because they posted photos of their lost and found.
Oh my God,
And
yeah.
had, in the span of a week, over 200 clicks to that page for people looking to see what their kids had forgotten at school. So that was a really successful and innovative way to
Wasn't that
use.
the top page?
Yeah, something like
Our
that,
top
yeah.
page was awesome.
Very thrilling.
Which was great. Working on building out co-curricular clubs page for the high school and IRS. But things are going well in that regard. We also had Seth come to the meeting and give us an update about the AV Club, and so that was great to hear about all of the types of activities that they have, that they've worked on as far as live streaming, whether that was athletics or concerts or plays, both for the streaming as well as kind of the back end stuff, looking at lights and sound. And those kind of skill sets. So a lot of great things going on. There's also been some projects that relate to documentaries and mockumentaries. We saw some of the raw footage or early footage of the cardboard sledding. And then that video was recently released on the district YouTube channel, so you can see that. But that was a great example of utilizing the technology and the burgeoning skill set and interest in, again, documenting the cool stuff that's happening here in the district. So we talked a little bit about budget communication to confirm that the mailer for the warrant articles was going out, and that there'd be a reminder about voting day, which happened on a number of different platforms. And then the next meeting is, I want to say, April 7th, something like that. It's the first Thursday. And we'll have all of our standing agenda items, such as the website and app data and AV Club. And then we also talked about wanting to take a look at the strategic plan, so that we have a chance to review and see where things need to be updated, since this may be the last committee meeting before the June retreat that we, board retreat that we tend to look at those goals.
Cool.
You get anything?
Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned YouTube.
Mhm.
Are the school board meetings still being viewed on YouTube?
They are, yeah.
Okay, because I had trouble accessing them.
There
And other
was-
schools came up instead of Mascoma.
I saw them.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
a
yeah.
little blip of time,
One
a
day.
day or two,
Yeah.
that the YouTube channel was having some issues, but those have since been resolved, and the past meetings are up, and events are back on the regular channel as opposed to
give
the
it another
secondary
try.
channel. So yeah, if you could check that out, that would be great. And it should be, the channel is linked to, you can click the little YouTube symbol on the mascomaschools.org website, and you should be able to find it from there. But if you do have troubles, I think let Kamala or
Yeah,
Seth know,
let me know.
Oh, okay.
that way they can look
Yeah.
into that a little bit, that'd be great.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. EIC, and so this is from February 24th, so I have to kind of get my brain backwards because we had another meeting last week, so put in the minutes here. So we talked about career and college fair, talking about what we can do for kids, and we've talked about this a lot here for, you know, how can we do a career fair, college fair, what does that look like? You can read in the minutes there. What we do, Angel gave us a good, overview of what we do with guidance, but, we kind of identified different ways we coordinate better and that sort of thing. Trying to, incorporate IRS students and job opportunities, job shadowing, bring that back and that sort of thing. The other biggest thing was that we had somebody, I don't know, Kathleen, do you want to share this from Dartmouth Hitchcock?
The workforce development. Within Dartmouth Hitchcock, they have a special department, and Emmy Smith is the person who heads that up. She joined us remotely, and she shared with us a ton of information on exactly how a career can be formed going into Dartmouth at an entry-level position. And the reason we got connected with Emmy and the Workforce Development Division was my neighbor Tamara Fairbanks had gotten in touch with me because she is a supervisor at the lab, which does more forensic science type stuff there. It's a little different. It's part of the hospital you don't see. And she was asking about having the availability here at Mascoma for a career fair. And they already have programs in place, whether it be virtual or in person. And so I think I've spoken to both of these people after the fact, and they were very excited about how well we received it. So I think they're good partners, and I was hoping that we would be able to get a plan, which we are in the works of a plan of action, so that next year we'll have it all down pat and on the calendar, and it will be something. I'm assuming it's going to happen in some part of the school day, like that. So it will be aimed at 8th and 9th graders maybe, but we haven't finished it. It's all a work in progress.
Yeah, and it was really cool to have Dartmouth Hitchcock come out and kind of, you should read through their PowerPoint, which is in your packet, because it really details how you can have a career from like anything you want there. They will train you, they will pay you while you're being trained, they will pay for classes, you can get a degree from Colby Sawyer in healthcare administration. So it's a really good career path, and we were excited about possibly partnering more with them. And I think given the labor market in the Upper Valley, anything that we can do to connect kids with good careers right out of the gate is a good thing. So and
it's an excellent way to avoid a huge college debt.
Yes.
With a partnership with Colby Sawyer was amazing.
Yeah. So I would love to further explore that. But that's what we did, and then that's pretty much took up our whole meeting. So, any questions on that?
Well, I'll of course say that I've worked with the Workforce Readiness Institute since its inception. They have a number of really phenomenal programs, and it has blossomed into something that is a true career builder.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of opportunities to try things out and to find out what you like and what you don't like, and with the addition of the training wage as part of the program, it makes it even more of a great option to consider. You're not only not paying for those college credits because you can get them through the program, you're also getting paid during the training and then have a job. So it really is a fabulous opportunity. And they also have the internship programs, both for high school students, which is their foundations program, and the college program, and then they also have an LNA internship program. And my daughter has participated in 2 of those internship programs, and very successful. And built up opportunities for her to get letters of recommendation to get into PA school. So, and some of those were from her
Doors will open.
internship opportunities. So even if you don't stay as an LNA or an MA or a periop tech or any of those things, you're still building that professional network. And again, I think these are great opportunities for our students, and definitely would like to see us, be able to have those info sessions. They do run some info sessions that happen during the school day, and then the Zooms are recorded and can be shared out. And they have drop-in online virtual hours as well.
Cool.
So lots of opportunities to find things out, and there are different cohorts throughout the year.
Does this dovetail with the Hartford area, health?
The healthcare administration, they run out of that one?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, they could be connected in some form.
I think that they share the information, but I think there's different programs. Because the Hartford program, I think, has a specific curriculum, and I think these programs have a specific
So they're not
curriculum.
necessarily,
Yeah, there might be a little bit of overlap of some of the concepts, but I don't think
Yeah.
that they are
but those
perfect
certainly
matches.
would be our kids that would be interested in this.
Yeah,
Because a lot of it is like lab work and tech work, and
Right.
if we established a partnership where they were able to meet here with students once a month and explain it, or you take some of their class time to, they may leave early and go work at the hospital starting at noon. They have kids that do that, things like that. That's all potential. Those are all possibilities and stuff. So I think Angel is going to keep in touch with them and try to get more coordination with them.
And Danielle, I don't know if you may know this, that Emmy Smith has a background in education.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So that really helps us out.
Yeah, and it definitely helps as they've developed their curriculum and those articulation agreements with Colby Sawyer College.
Yeah.
It definitely has helped. The other thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that, especially for not necessarily for the internship or the training programs, but for the for the apprenticeship or the training programs, but for the internship programs, you actually don't even necessarily have to want to go into a healthcare field. You could be someone that is looking at engineering or business or communications or lab work. I mean, any of those sorts of things, and not necessarily a health science, but other types of functions that still happen within a comprehensive comprehensive field such as healthcare, just sort of be in that placement. So again, even for people who aren't looking for healthcare jobs, there's internship opportunities there.
Cool.
So hope there is a partnership or collaboration between the Hartford CTC and the Workforce Development Group. They do have a member that attends the advisory board meetings, so.
Cool. All right. Next.
Too late for me, I'm sorry.
Oh, no?
I'm retired for this.
Sorry.
It's like, come in the next life, I'll go.
All right, we'll get to the next one. Finance facilities.
Yeah, it's us, and we met, when did I meet? March 2nd, 31 minutes. And Corrado went over what he had to go over, and his biggest thing is trying to hire some help, and he gave him suggestions, and he's working on that. He's gonna check with Rob to see if we could do something about the fee with the students, with the student workers paying maybe $12 an hour. We're gonna check on that, see about it, come back next meeting. Amanda was gonna, check with that. In the Route 4, we had nothing to discuss on that, and everything else, the finance, the contractor services, everything is carte blanche, everything's going fine. So it's, we had really not much more to go over. And we did, on the other stuff, we did discuss about having a right turn only sign put up between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, somewhere in the area, and that's up for discussion again. So that's pretty much it, and we won't meet until April 6th again, at 1 o'clock.
Any questions for Brewster? Okay. Wellness committee.
We had a very short meeting, and we've got the draft minutes here. we did talk a little bit about the food pantry, and there was a request or a suggestion that if there are student groups or others that are doing food drives, that if they check with Eva regarding what are the biggest needs at that particular time for the food pantry, then that would be really helpful. And we also talked about now we're getting kind of back to normal, putting out the table in the lobby so that there are food items available throughout the day, again, so that we can try to get through some of the stigma of accessing additional food for our students. We had a small group, so we tabled a number of items. And we talked a little bit about masks on buses, but we'll defer to Amanda's update. The next meeting will be in June.
Okay. Any questions on that?
The health news survey,
Yeah.
that's the county, is that the county survey?
So it goes by hospital service region. So the health needs assessment, ours is, there are two ones in this area. One is the Lake 71 and then ours, Upper Valley one. And so it's a combination, it's run by VNA and VNH, the public health system, and Dartmouth Hitchcock. And so that survey was completed at the end of last year, I believe it was. And so the results are now becoming available. So I haven't actually attended, I didn't have a chance to attend one of the presentations. And so we were gonna ask for an update, kind of an overview and an update on what those top health issues were from the community.
Something that we can see?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we were talking about maybe having introducing it at the wellness committee so that we could bring it to put that in the materials.
Okay.
For the FYI, and then if it, after that presentation, so this meeting would be in June, so when we talked about that meeting and had the materials, we could figure out if that was something that we wanted to have them come in and do a presentation during our presentation slot. We didn't want to schedule it in without kind of seeing what the info was first and seeing how relevant it was. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay, great.
Cool. All right. Superintendent's report.
So you do have my written report in the packet. I start with thanking the voters, and you do have the voting results included in the informational portion of this packet. I also want to make it very well known that the Enfield Village School has been nominated as a Blue Ribbon School. I'm not sure if we've officially said that. So they've been nominated. They're in the process of filling out, the paperwork so that can be reviewed to see if we're selected. You should also know that Stacy Heek, one of the special educators at the Enfield Village School, is the Council for Exceptional Children's Special Educator of the Year for K-8
Nice.
for the state of New Hampshire.
Wow.
So very, very impressive. Stacy does wonderful work for our students. As is always true, after I had written the report, more information came out. We received an email from Connor Torrey, the dispatcher for Butler's Bus, and they have moved to a process where, so Butler's new policy on masking on their buses is that they will follow whatever the school is doing. So if it's optional in the district, optional on their buses. If it's mandatory in the district, mandatory on the buses. And I think that's a pretty wise choice, and it allows us to have some flexibility. And if we did need to go back to mandatory masking, we would be able to also just implement that on the buses also. So I'm not sure we necessarily need a motion on that. We'll just allow butlers to use that type of flexibility. And the second thing the final thing on my report was Hope had brought up at the last meeting that she would like to give the administrators of the individual schools the ability to adjust some of the mitigation strategies as they see fit. And I love that idea. I'm really appreciative of that, Hope. I think it is time, as I start to look at the numbers, like even the high school had no cases, and not that those numbers aren't gonna fluctuate, but I'm starting to see a lot of low numbers in some of our schools. I'd like to open up, Rob will talk a little more about eating in the cafeteria. I'd like to open up recesses so kids could mingle outside a little as we get nicer weather, you know, introducing lockers back to some of our middle school students. So I hope the board is on, ready for that and would be amenable to having that change made so that we can sort of loosen some of the restrictions.
Questions, comments?
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
no, all right, that's good that somebody from Enfield got recognized, because most of the time you look in the paper, it's always somebody down all south.
Yeah, all those things
All
in here.
the big schools and everything, yeah. And the other thing is, if Enfield does get the blue ribbon thing, they get pins for it, so I would expect that we get pins.
I'll get you a
because,
pin.
because we got one when the
Right.
Canaan one had that.
I know, I picked them out.
Yeah, and some principal was at that one, I don't know who that was at that time.
I am very hopeful for them, because it would be something else to have both their elementary schools.
Yeah, I want another pin.
That would be a slam dunk, that would be amazing.
And
So,
put another sign out in front of the school.
yeah, don't want to jinx it, but not gonna
No,
do it.
I want
Good luck to
another
them, so Harrison has been working hard, and all those people working hard there.
Yep.
So you're looking for a motion to,
Just to allow me to
Yeah.
allow the principals to be flexible in their implementation of mitigation strategies.
However someone would like to word that.
Make a motion that we allow Amanda Isabel the opportunity to work with building principals to set mitigation strategies that meet the level of need for this particular time.
Beauty.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
All right, great. Any further discussion on that?
It's not a policy, that's all it is, all I want to make sure, it's not a
Not a
policy.
policy.
We're not- Yeah, no, I said it's not a policy, so we don't get into a policy situation.
So I guess the safety net here would be, if the numbers continue to rise, would be building by building, or?
Yeah.
By the way, my comment was I'd keep the mask and let go of the rest.
Yeah.
But just so you know.
So I guess going reverse, then.
Yeah.
Right, so we could do both ways. I think the
Yeah.
ability to adjust is key, so that if they started to see some of the numbers really start to spike, then we would just increase mitigation strategies again, or re-implement them.
And you're comfortable doing that, where one school might be doing something different and kids aren't, because I know that one of the big was the pushback everybody was getting, nobody liked that.
Yes.
So would that cause pushback?
I don't think so. I think we'll be able to, with the low rates that we currently have, I think you're gonna see some things kind of free up. And then I'm very able to say, look, you have high numbers of COVID cases in your school. We had to implement some other strategies or re-implement those strategies. So there will be some pushback, because there's always some pushback.
Right.
I'm ready
I'm just
for it.
thinking that,
No, I appreciate that.
Well, the only thing I could think of that would be a pushback would be if you had Enfield one had the problem, and you got those little kids there, and you got the little kids over in Canaan, so you kind of like.
Yeah, that's sort of where.
You're looking at those two right there compared to this school here, and the IRS are separated, and, with the kids, different kids, but, the different age, same age group in Enfield and Canaan, so if one gets it, then you almost seem like the other one's gotta be
Well,
locked
I
down.
know each building principal has done an amazing job. So
Yeah.
no doubt that they would continue to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Without any further discussion, or seeing no further discussion, all those in favor of the motion on the floor, authorize administration to work with principals on mitigation strategies as they see fit for their buildings, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed and abstentions. All right. That passes. All right. Business administrative report. Take it away, Rob.
Good evening. You have my written report, but as Superintendent Isabel mentioned, there are things that happened within the week that I submit my report and the night of the meeting. So that's going to happen here as well. The main point in my report is the mitigation strategy of cafeteria eating as opposed to room delivery. I've heard a lot of feedback and sentiments about returning to cafeteria service in light of we've reduced the mask mandate now in transportation as well. It stands to reason that this mitigation strategy might be relaxed as well. That being said, there is some sentiment that there are times when it's been really convenient to have meals delivered to classrooms because I'm not cutting into some of the smaller children's time to move down the hallway and come back with their lunches. But I think that falls under the umbrella of the administrator's authorization to give building level flexibility. So I think our recommendation is to relax that mitigation strategy as well, but going forward, we will take each building on its own situation. That being said, we're going to move on to the Professional Development Day this coming Friday, March 25th. We've had a request to serve breakfast to the staff, a cold continental breakfast, some baked goods, some juices and coffee. We've checked with food services. They are willing and able to do it this Friday. The cost would be about $1,060 from the school board services account to serve about 175 staff members. So on behalf of Angel Burke, we would like to request $1,060 from the school board services account.
Okay.
And also in the past week, we've been able to complete the report for the MS-22. So I gave you a copy that wasn't in your original packet. I just delivered them this evening. I have a signature page for you all to sign, so I can upload it to Department of Revenue Administration. It is due 20 days after our meeting, which makes it March 28th. I think it would be expedient if everybody could sign it this evening, and I can upload it tomorrow.
We're supposed to sign it without saying it?
No.
No.
No, this is it. Yeah. And then he has a copy that he's gonna have us
I don't have
sign.
the.
He has the official
scan
copy
it,
for
so
us to
I can
sign.
say 3-page.
So, all right, cool. So you're looking for a motion to authorize for school board to pick up breakfast for the staff on Friday, correct? All right.
Second?
Say it all day long.
Anyone like to make that motion?
Oh,
Then that, sure, okay. Well, maybe
seconded, whatever you just said.
What?
I try not to make
You
motions.
just say
but I'm
as presented.
As presented, yeah, it's for the $1,060.
Yeah.
All right, hope to make that motion.
Sure.
And who would like to second that? Anybody would like
I'll
to second?
second.
All right, Tanya. All right, cool. All right, any further discussion?
Is that just one, is it all day long?
Just breakfast in the morning.
Do they have professional development all day though?
Yes.
I thought I'm sorry to bring up discussion tonight, see, I'm not being muted.
I'd have liked you better that way.
I don't know if it's better, but we used to, in the past, we used to take care of your lunch too. We used to take care of their lunch.
Or was it just lunch?
I think it
No.
was just lunch that
What?
we had done.
On the
in
welcome
house.
back to school day?
I don't know. I know we've done it for various different things.
We've
at
done it
various
very
times.
different things. We've done it for their professional development too, I
Yeah.
think.
No, we've done breakfast, we've done lunches, like, I guess. If this is what they're asking for, if they're asking for breakfast
Breakfast.
and not lunch, then I'm happy to stick with breakfast, so. I see what you're saying, I know what you're saying.
Well, yeah, look, I have no kids in the school,
I
okay?
know.
All right? You've got kids in the school, you got your taxpaying money. I
I
know.
know.
All right, so whatever. All right,
No.
that's fine. I thought I'd ask that question because in the past we've taken care of that.
We'll remember that for next year.
Yes,
My election year.
that's right.
Yeah,
Raise the
whatever.
phones,
Lunch by
right?
Brewster.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, you got different people that will put lunches on for you guys and do a great job. so.
That's good. All right. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor of the motion to authorize $1,060 from the school board line for breakfast for professional development this Friday, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed and abstentions. Passes. All right.
One question for Rob on the financials.
Sure.
I guess my question was, have the health insurance rates, something, it looks like something, except for EVS, they've all kind of looked like they're in the red. Do we have a problem there, or am I misreading that? Sort of look across the board, except it's not a change in rate, or it's not something that was avoidable.
Which line is it?
No, I did. Well, for example, like, page 5, it's towards the bottom. Health
Oh,
insurance teacher.
I see. Yeah, I see
Well,
that.
that one's not even negative. Oops.
Well, if you're looking at the budget balance and it's negative,
Anyways, obviously, if you don't know it off the top of your head, it's not a problem.
Right.
You know? But like CES is minus 11,962 on page 4, you know. I just didn't know if that was, I thought I saw it sort of across the board. I didn't know if that was the thing or not. So it's just the way it is.
Send Hope over to Croydon.
That's
Go over
a
to
good
Croydon,
idea.
help them out.
That's a good idea.
you need to adjust the budget, initial budget line that says 0. That's gonna be a budget journal entry that I will make tomorrow.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, general ledger budget is 0. I got you. I see that. Yep. Cool. Good catch. All right. Anything else, Mr. Rob?
How's special ed going? How's that?
Yeah, I didn't want
I
to.
didn't want to look at that.
I did, but
Chris Piso would like to come in and do a presentation,
That would be
so I think that would be
That would
very
be,
good.
that
for
would
him
be
to
a
come
good-
and update you. We've had some significant move-ins, some students with some significant needs recently moved to district.
Yeah.
because I don't even have to look at that. I know it comes brought. Gets up.
All right. Yeah, that would be good to have him at a future meeting in the next meeting or two.
Yeah.
Or probably within the next two meetings.
Two away.
Public comment response? Anything?
Could we have a motion though on the
Oh.
MS 22?
Oh,
to approve
that was up later in the.
Is it in
agenda.
later?
Yeah, it's under
Okay.
new business, so I was
Yeah.
gonna
Thank
do
you.
it then, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, down here.
Yeah, any public comments response specific?
No.
No? Okay, cool. March 8th voting results, we don't have to do anything with that, that was just for our to see, right?
Correct.
Well, we're not approving those, there I voted. All right, so you have your MS 22 in front of you, and this is for our certifying that the information contained in this form, appropriations actually voted by the school district meeting, was taken from official records and is complete to the best of our knowledge and belief. Under penalties of perjury, I declare that I have examined the information contained in this form, and to the best of my belief is true, correct, and complete. And it looks like it matches to me, so, you know, that's a nice job. I would love to see line items in the future for adult continuing education programs. Just, it's an apropos of nothing here. So, I will entertain a motion on approving the MS 22.
Make a motion, approval of 2022 MS 22 appropriation of the
I'll
voters.
second.
All right. So we have Brewster with the motion, Hope with the second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of the MS 22 as presented signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? And abstentions. There we go. So now we can sign that off. And Rob's gonna pass it around. Deliberative session for 2023. A lot of calendars.
So you have two choices. By law, it needs to be the first or second Saturday following the last Monday, which leaves you with 2/4 or 2/11. Typically, we have chosen the first date, 2/4.
I like the 4th personally, because it gives us a snow date of the 11th.
When's the Super Bowl?
What, the 4th, the 11th is?
I don't know, when's the Super Bowl?
I don't know, the Pats gonna make it this year?
Huh?
Are they gonna make it? Are you
Don't
gonna
mind
go?
that. I don't know when the Super Bowl is, 2/4 or 2/11.
All right,
I think it doesn't matter.
preference?
2/4, because that way you get the backup.
Okay.
They were both on the 12th.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I
There you
saw
go,
that.
Brett.
Hey, thank you very much.
That's awful. There you
I
go.
got my information lady over there,
That's
she's
right.
doing a great job for me.
All right, anyone wanna make that motion
I
then?
make the motion, we do it on February 4th, 2023. free.
All right.
I'll second.
Deliberative session, seconded by Kathleen. Any further discussion?
And we would set the snow date for the 11th, correct?
That's if I put that motion in.
I would check with Bonnie on what she would want to do
Yeah.
for the
We can
snow
always
day.
do that.
Yeah.
Then we'll
Bonnie's
lock
still.
It gets a
still
little
around.
tricky because Canaan, the town of Canaan, I know, and other
Yeah.
towns,
Yeah.
Canaan at least does their deliberative session on that second Saturday.
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did it this year on the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the year before we had done it on the same, so.
As long as it's not at the same time, it's
It was
not too
early,
bad.
One was in the
It
morning
gets,
and
it
one-
gets
Yeah.
close, because
So I
Grafton
think
did the following one.
Yeah. All right.
She
All
can't do
those
it.
in favor, any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor of setting February 4th, 2023 for deliberative session, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed and abstentions. All right, there's that. Teacher Appreciation Week. When is that this year?
Oh, I don't know, it's coming up
Every
quickly.
day.
Every
Right?
day.
Every dang day.
Every
Yeah.
day.
You
right.
suck up on
Every
that.
day. But we are looking for approval from the board. Typically, we have done a cake, we have done a fruit basket, we have done, some goodies for teachers. There's a lot of food on that week. The
Mhm.
PTAs and PTSAs really do a nice job supporting our staff. So we would be looking, we have done pins in the past. The word that I'm receiving is that teachers are overpinned at this point.
He pinned them down.
They're overpinned. So I think maybe to stay away from that, we could look at, something else, but it might be best this year to stick with just the goodie treats in each building.
So is it one day, or is it a whole week?
It's a week.
A whole week?
Yeah, I remember when my kids were in elementary school, PTSA, different parents took different days to do breakfasts, and
How
one
much,
day we had smoothies and the teachers.
how much, we usually generally give them something for the whole week. Like
Have we ever
Fifty
given
chances.
them a potted plant, a live plant?
well, you had something we gave them one time, they had a whole bunch outside, I think
Are
we
you-
did that once.
Are you looking for a certain amount?
At
Or-
this point, I'm just looking for, I don't have an amount. I had an amount for pins, but I've just recently been told that we're overpinned.
About if you see about Chappie's catering their lunch during the week.
Or we could just say,
I do know that, as Tim mentioned, a lot of the PTAs organize parents and do food and
Yeah.
meals. I know here, even at the high school, we've had different parents volunteer to drop off stuff for breakfasts and for lunches.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's,
just say coordination,
yeah.
and it's not like they're gonna make it for all four
When's
schools.
it gonna be?
It's in May,
Oh,
first week of May,
I mean, I know
apparently.
we used to get gift certificates.
Yeah, that's also been something that parent groups have helped to organize, either donations of gift certificates, and there was a raffle here at the high school, I know.
Typically, you all give us $1,000 towards pins or something like that, so if you
Uh,
wanted to.
you wanna
approve
I want
it-
your
I
discretion
think
to do
you-
something good with
I
it.
think we gotta think outside the box.
We
I like the
don't-
plan,
I'd
I
like
like the
to-
plan
I'm
idea.
I do
happy
like
to do
that.
that, authorize us up to $1,000, and we will do some plans for people, that sounds nice.
Then we go down to the Boston Flower Market.
Yes.
I think that's-
Let's go, Hope.
I got
There you
I
go.
got a wholesale.
Yeah, I mean, if that works, just authorizing $1,000 to
Yeah,
do
As
whatever.
long as you
Yeah.
trust us to find
Yeah.
something, I really like
Sure.
that plan idea,
I'll
something
entertain
different,
that
they're
motion.
overpinned, so.
You want plants?
I do, I like plants, pretty good, so, works for
To
me.
improve the air quality in the classrooms, and
I was thinking something else, but that's all right,
That's
it's
good.
fine, that's what you guys wanna do.
anyone wanna make that motion?
Make a motion that we approve up to $1,000 for the administration to use towards Teacher Appreciation Week recognition.
I'll second.
All right. All right. Any further discussion on that? Yeah, I like that plant idea, that's cool. See if, whatchamacallit, not Longacre's, Gardener Supply, or
Yeah.
they can hook up whatever, whoever can give us a deal, so. All right, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
And opposed? And abstentions?
I was going to, but I'm not going
You gonna vote in favor?
to.
Change the
Favor,
yes?
I did.
All right.
I wanted to give you something elaborate, but
You don't have the money for that.
you could have had something elaborate. she didn't want it, so.
You can write a check for it.
Yeah.
I thought about
Benefactor.
having, you know, you can always have one night, you guys could have a big dinner,
Yeah.
you know, for the whole staff,
You never know. Maybe down the line. we'll do
Yeah.
something.
when I retire.
All right, everyone's favorite part, policy time.
No, that's
We have-
yours.
We have second readings on a couple of them. Video and audio surveillance on school property, annual facility plan, and facilities development public information program, all for second reading.
Make a motion that we approve for second reading and adoption, policy EEAA, video and audio surveillance on school property, policy FAA, annual facility plan, and policy FAC, facilities development public information program.
Second,
And Bruce, second.
I'm good at doing that.
All right, any discussion on those three policies?
No.
So I will say on EEAA, that was the one that had that sort of awkward language at the end of the first paragraph. So when we did ask the New Hampshire School Board Association about that, they actually changed the entire policy for the entire state. So I'd like to thank Mr. Kiley for bringing that up. So it now just simply reads, to the extent allowed by applicable law.
Perfect.
It's a hard one for me to say,
Yes.
but that's what they chose to change that to. We're much appreciative of that.
That one, section 2, second paragraph, last sentence. I found this a little bit fuzzy. All persons will be responsible for any violations of school rules recorded by cameras. Does that need to say specifically surveillance cameras? I.e. not kids' cell phones.
Right, because you do get
Maybe-
into the kids' cell phones.
Maybe if you just put the word district before the word cameras, then it,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if
or
it's about
surveillance.
surveillance
I'm
cameras.
okay with adding surveillance in.
Are you on page 1 or 2?
Each one.
Page 1.
But then it does go talk about in section B, whether or not recorded by district equipment, so.
I prefer the district cameras as opposed to surveillance, just.
It's surveillance.
Because what if it was a smart board camera, you know, for a class or activity or something like that, as opposed to a mounted surveillance
TV
camera?
camera coming in, doing a camera, they come in and doing a TV crew,
Yeah.
so.
So they just
Fine.
seemed a little vague, I just thought you might want to tighten that, that's all.
Are you good with the word district before
Yeah,
cameras?
District or surveillance, I think.
All right, we're good.
Anything else on that policy? So Hope, did you want to amend your motion, or Daniel, do you want to amend your motion on that to tweak that
Sure,
one?
yep, as discussed.
Okay.
Changes as discussed.
To district cameras? Okay. And Bruce, are you okay with that?
No.
What do you want it to be?
I'm gonna mute you.
Killing
You
me
hate
about changing
policies
all
the
these
most.
things. Hey, you mute me, you
Are
got
you-
5
mute
this
you.
year
Are
instead
you
of
good,
4.
are you good with the word district cameras?
I guess so,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
you gotta go with whatever you got on there.
Anything else on the other two policies for review? The second reading, annual facility plan.
Ask me that.
The only thing I will say is on FAC, we removed the word advisory building committee, so just read advisory committee.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, so those three, with the tweak to the first one, for second reading and adoption, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, and abstentions. All right, 5-0. And then we have the last policy on here for first reading, IB, academic freedom.
Make a motion that we approve for first reading, policy IB, academic freedom.
Second?
Second.
All right, Danielle and Brewster. All right,
Any corrections?
so this is based on state law that's updated. It is an optional policy, right?
That is correct.
So we don't have to adopt this. I personally don't like it, because I don't like the third paragraph in the list of 4 things. If I were to change it, I would just take out that paragraph and list the 4 things and leave the rest of it. That way it says, you know, teachers should be accurate, exercise appropriate restraint, respect for others, comply with our board policy, and then just saying nothing in this policy should be construed to prohibit yada, 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 without putting in the hot language that's in the center. That's my personal
Specifically,
opinion.
what is your hot language?
In no event may a teacher instruct, advocate, or train that one identified group is 1, 2, 3, and 4. That list right there.
Including 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4?
including 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Because first, I mean, I followed the debate on this at the state level.
Mhm.
They put it into the budget instead of debating it, and I think it's too charged. I think it kind of, it works to silence teachers personally, because it makes teachers kind of nervous about what to say. This isn't saying that we're going against the state law, it's just saying that I don't feel like we should put it in the policy, but that's me. Anyone else?
Did we have this policy before?
We've had this policy since 1995.
Oh, sorry, yeah, okay.
So it could be the prerogative of this board to just rescind it totally from.
I mean,
There's some good things in
I
there.
don't understand.
yeah, I don't know that we need to rescind the whole policy, I mean, I
Just
think,
keep our existing one.
yeah.
What is our existing?
But this, Amanda, you're saying that this is our existing policy?
No.
No, let me pull
Oh,
up
you
the-
added in,
It's, because this is the new language that they
Okay.
This is
wanted.
all new
Yeah.
from
At
the
the state
School
level.
Board Association.
yeah,
This came from the School Board Association?
Yeah.
So why are you against all these 4 things? Because I read it again and it's like, you know, they don't take this lightly when they do that.
No,
I mean, I think that for me, I am leaning towards Tim's suggestion to leave out that paragraph. I personally don't really like the, in no event may a teacher instruct, advocate, or train, blah, 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 blah. Because that sounds very heavy-handed. Especially because in the first paragraph, you're talking about academic freedom and the opportunity of educators and students to study, investigate, present, interpret, and discuss facts and ideas. If you're saying that you want to be open to those sorts of conversations within the classroom, then why would we provide further instruction about a subset of things that may come up in conversation when talking about history, current events, that sort of thing?
Are you keeping the next thing down, it says
Yeah.
nothing in the policy should,
that's my proposal, yeah.
no, I know
Do
you,
you need that last
are you
paragraph?
keeping that?
Yeah, I would.
Well, I'm just asking what you're getting rid of and what you're not.
Yeah, no, I would take out the third paragraph and then the list of the 4 things. And I would leave the last paragraph. Because I think that the last paragraph's fine. It's like nothing should be construed. You don't want to prohibit the teaching of historical subjects,
All right.
discussions, current events.
I have a question, because the legal reference disclaimer is confusing to me at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a little bit nervous not actually having someone here to explain the legal ramifications of this. What do they know that I don't know? You know,
Yeah.
I'm getting nervous about it because
This was tucked into the bill.
Yeah.
The budget bill.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
whole.
that language.
This language.
Yes,
yeah.
which has been floated around for quite some time.
Yes.
It passed.
Yeah.
The budget and the bill passed, so this language got tucked in somewhere. I do not know what it means to us.
It means that teachers
And
are
this is
bound
an
to this.
optional.
It means teachers are bound to this, whether we have this as a policy or not.
Okay.
So it's in the state law. So it's not like we're changing anything. It's not like we're saying, no, we're going to go
They
against
just want
this.
us to codify what was put into the state.
That's really what I'm kind of
Okay.
nervous about.
All right.
Is because especially when I look at our existing one, And it talks about, you know, classroom studies being curriculum related and demonstrating respect for the opinion of others, creating and maintaining an atmosphere of open-mindedness and tolerance for the opinion of others. Don't limit or staff and faculty not limit or control students' judgment concerning any issue. Direct the consideration of issues that allow students to voice their arguments and to ensure fairness, relevance, and that facts and interpretations are carefully examined, and seek to promote the welfare, growth, and development of all students. I like what we have, and they should put that in that bill.
I also like the current one as opposed to the revised one. Our current one has a specific paragraph related to students. And it's just, and students are just a passing first sentence, passing mention in the first sentence. It is more about
More
the
spelled out here,
teachers
yeah.
and teaching,
Yeah.
as opposed to students and what students should have the right to be able to access information and to learn and express opinions. And I think that's an important part of having a challenging educational opportunity. Challenging, not to mean, you know, difficult, but
But
challenging, so yes, so that you're thinking, so you're using all your brain muscles.
Yeah.
They covered this third paragraph, the new one, when they say they have the right to access relevant educational materials, the right to learn and express opinions in an unbiased, supportive atmosphere without fear of repercussions as for students. So basically, this third paragraph is saying that the teachers need to put it in an unbiased.
Yeah.
And I think that's covered. I can't quite, yeah.
I think the first sentence of the fourth paragraph of our existing policy sums it up. Academic freedom is the pursuit of truth in its many forms. I mean, at the core of academics, it is the pursuit of truth, is, you know, finding out the knowledge of the world you live in, and that goes back to, you know, the ancient Greeks.
Well, the new proposed policy category, it says it's optional.
Yep.
And it also refers to another policy, GBI, which we don't have here tonight, right?
That's the teacher political speech.
Oh, right.
What committee's got this?
It's a policy review that I just send it to anyone that would like to do it.
Yeah,
Those two people
Well,
were
I
hoping.
was going with, why don't we table it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
asking,
go
what
with it.
committee's got this,
We
yeah,
did one.
because,
We
yeah.
did,
I think we tabled it last time.
We tabled it last week, and so we can just indefinitely table it if we want. So
I mean, you could just, we
Can we
could
send
also just hold it as reviewed on the,
okay.
we could just mark it as reviewed. We
Yeah.
can keep the current policy,
Yeah,
mark it reviewed,
That
32222.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you want to
Right,
withdraw
yeah,
your motion?
I'll withdraw my motion, and the new motion will be, do we have to have a motion, or can we just say it's reviewed?
I think we can just say it's
Okay.
reviewed.
Perfect review.
Rescind,
No.
rescind my motion.
Yeah, rescind your motion. All right, Bruce, you good with that?
Yeah, of course I.
All right, good. All right. So then,
And Kathleen, we
we'll
do have,
table-
I'm sorry, Tim, GBI, the policy that's referenced on there was updated 12/14/21. So we're up to
Oh, yeah.
where it's staff participation in political activities, so that was done recently.
All right, so then we'll table that policy. All right.
Just,
Good, good.
I'll leave my
No.
commentary to
Yeah.
the side.
Oh.
Okay.
Lot to
All right, well, we can always discuss it more later if we want to. and
it, way down the line.
then way
If
down
it
the
changes
line.
again, I'll bring it back.
Yeah, next
Next year.
budget. Next big budget.
Next year.
Agenda items for next meeting. Our next meeting will be, what, April?
5th.
5th. Wowee. No,
Yes.
Yes.
no, the 12th. Unless
On
we bumped it,
vacation.
vacation, oh, did we bump it up? Okay. All right,
I did the same
April
thing,
5th.
Tim.
April 5th is our next meeting. We'll have an EIC update. We had a really good conversation about music last week, so I can't wait to share that with everybody. What else?
We will have teacher nominations.
Teacher nomination. Oh, that's right. Teacher
That's
nomination.
right.
Anything else that you can think of?
Just the regular reports.
Just reports, just ones you.
Regular reports.
Just when's he gonna have committees?
On a side note, just for, you all may be interested in this week, I'm going to 2 different webinars for my work. One is on electric school buses in general, and like converting your fleet to electric. You save on maintenance, I'll bring more information later. And then the other one is it's called Vehicle to Grid, and this is specifically about school buses. And basically, they have a program, like the state has this, and they're electric cars that charge overnight and then send power back into the grid when it's not using it, and then it'll charge back up again, and so it can accommodate the fluctuations. Basically, you can have your school buses all summer long sitting in a lot, charging and releasing and charging and releasing, and you're selling energy back to the company. You're buying it at the cheap price, like off peak, and you're selling it back at peak, and you end up making money that way. I can't wait to find out more information.
Sounds too good to be true.
The catch is that electric school buses cost 3 times as much. They cost like $300,000 for one bus. However,
Right
your
now.
maintenance and fuel is, so you gotta look at the whole picture of it,
Apparently, I mean, like an electric car is 200 parts versus a 2,000 parts
Yeah.
for a gas vehicle. I mean, they are gonna be like a third less expensive to maintain.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it's already happening anyway.
yeah.
This is.
So I just could get propane ones like yours.
Yeah, I was gonna.
No, I don't want liquid nat, no, I don't want gas. That's not the way.
No, I mean, if 20 years from now, it's already gonna be done.
Yeah.
So we should be looking towards it.
So I will see what I get out of that, and I'll fill people in after that, so. And any public comment? Seth, anything going
I
on?
have a comment.
Yeah.
So, we have a sign on the door of the high school that says that masks are strongly encouraged. And we had long discussion about intimidation for the reverse reason of people who choose to wear a mask shouldn't be intimidated. And I think that sign is a little too intimidating. I don't know if it's on, the same sign is on all the buildings, what the status is, so if you can enlighten me on that.
Sure, that was a request of the board that we put masks strongly recommended signs up, so that's what we did. We'd be happy to take them down.
I'm not advocating to take them down.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting a softer language.
Yeah.
Like, masks are available for those who wish to wear them.
Sure, email that to me, and I would be happy to send that out. I told the principals strongly recommended, but I'm happy to soften it.
I'm just afraid that it's gonna trigger
Sure.
some parent, and, it's like our policy is that
Well,
we
we
have
made
no
it
masking
optional.
policy.
Yeah, no one's gonna say.
No, we didn't make it optional.
What?
The mask wearing is not our policy to be optional. We don't have a policy.
Right, the state does, so.
Well,
I'm not gonna argue that, but,
I mean, you could say strongly encouraged. Would that be softer? And then say masks are available?
Wait, I think you'd rather not say anything, just what do you want to say?
well, I made my suggestion. Masks are available for those who wish to wear them. It's a public comment, so.
Absolutely. Anyone like to weigh in? Do you want to keep it? Do we want to tweak it? Do you want to soften it?
The other thing I worry about,
I don't even remember saying this.
I said it.
I don't either.
I-
And I was trying to go back to the YouTube video to look at it, to refresh my memory,
right.
and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get any of our videos up.
Yep, you must have hit it on the day they were going down.
yeah, it probably was that day.
I get what you're saying. I totally get
I
it.
think that there are probably too many words
Mhm.
on that sentence.
On my sentence?
Yeah, so if we could soften the language to say something like either mask recommended, take out the strongly,
Yep.
or encourage, or.
Masks are available, how's that?
Masks
Yeah,
are
I mean-
available.
Masks
Use.
are
Well,
available.
it's a difference of us saying we recommend people to wear them, or it's just telling them that they're available. So I guess that's the statement we're making, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to say they're available. And then you're not going to get someone who's triggered by that sign.
Triggered how?
Do
It
they,
says strongly encouraged.
Okay, so.
they
So
always
you
check
can
in?
interpret it as you come through the door that I better put my mask on, because it implies that there's some risk, some hazard, something going on in that building. I don't know.
Do you have issues with people not checking in each?
No.
No,
No.
nothing
People
at
check
all.
in.
So if it just changed the sign to saying that
Mask available.
masks are available.
Upon request.
Well, masks are available because they
It
gotta
should be
check in.
Mask available.
That's it, masks are available, that's it. Because they need to check in at each place, each of the desks, because they're supposed to sign in and sign out, which.
And
I was
throughout
doing-
the day, the students may want to wear a mask, but they can't find it right then, they might need to
Yeah.
grab another one, you
Right.
know?
Masks are available.
Mask available.
Mask available, that
Yeah.
would solve it, because, like I said,
I
there is issues which we don't need to, there is issues of people not checking in, and they're in the building, and if you have an emergency, each one of those check-in sheets needs to get, they know who's here, who's not here, because that list, they got, at the high school, just at the high school alone, I've checked in every time I come to a committee meeting, all right? And some of the members, I won't say who, that come to the meetings, they don't check in, but if we had an emergency here, they need, whoever's grabbing those sheets needs to know
Yeah.
that these people are still here. Not counting the students, because everybody else has got their own group to take care of. So I would say just changing the sign to masks are available.
So I still want to make the recommendation, I still want to make the encouragement that people should be wearing masks if, just because we are still in pandemic, we still have immunocompromised people, we still have lots of kids that have not gotten vaccines. And while numbers are low, I think we can just say softer, masks are encouraged and available at the office.
Well, she's getting, I know what she's saying, it's the wording thing, because you only, you're not gonna stop and look at that thing and read.
No, I know the kids aren't looking at it after the first day, so.
Well, I'd say masks are available, because I asked Kevin, after we had that meeting there about the mask situation, and Kevin had told me that half the high school was wearing masks that day, half of them were wearing it. So, it's just, it's just like everything else, educational.
All right.
I would say just giving it, you only got so many signs.
I know, there's only
You know what I'm
one sign.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Then why have it at all?
what?
Why have it at all?
Well, they have to have something up there, because they also have to
Why?
check in.
Because the masks are available.
Masks are available, that's all. They need to check in, they need to push the button to get it has to
Right.
get brought in, so you don't need a list of stuff on the doors.
So this is for the kids to know.
Well, this is for
that
It's for everybody,
Anybody walking into the building,
anybody.
It's a good reminder.
I would just like to say that we encourage mask use and they're available. I'm fine with, against, not having strongly recommended, that's whatever. I would still like to encourage people to wear them. It is the best mitigation strategy. We are still in a pandemic. I think it's something that we can still encourage people for the rest of the school
It's
year.
not gonna hurt, and that's not gonna hurt anybody's feelings.
Right. Yeah. Is that a good compromise? Can we say like encouraged and available?
Are we voting on it? Are we doing a consensus?
I'll take a motion.
Does it need a
I'll make
motion?
a-
Doesn't, I don't know.
What did we do last time?
We just kind of said, we just said.
We didn't have
We
a
didn't really have a
motion
motion.
last
We
time.
were
We just came to a
discussing,
consensus.
we were already going off on other stuff, so.
Right,
Well, we left it up to the building principals.
for mitigation strategies.
Well, that's a mitigation strategy.
It's a mitigation strategy, you're right,
I agree with that.
you're right.
I would, go ahead, put it back to Amanda's and her administration group.
Well, why
If you put
wouldn't
it, if you put it in big red letters, masks are available, bingo.
But
That's
then
it.
we're not encouraging people to wear them.
I'm not trying to tell you to wear
I know
them.
you're
I got my
not.
mask
You
right
can
in
encourage.
my jacket.
You
If it
can
wasn't
encourage.
feeling good, I'd be putting it on. I got it, so, I did read that sign real quick when I walked in here, but it didn't say that I had to wear them,
No, you don't have to.
but it does.
So if you're triggered by that, I'm sorry.
Well, I am triggered by that.
I'm not saying he is.
I know.
Yeah,
Don't play
That was a more of a
devil's
royal
advocate
you,
here.
that was not you
you get me
specifically.
triggered.
So, all right, can we come up with a compromise and just say something like masks are encouraged and available at the office?
Now you add the office.
They're
Yeah,
available,
You're just putting too much out there.
masks are encouraged and available.
So Brewster, make a motion.
Make a motion.
Masks are available.
I'll
You got-
second if
You
If you wanted to put that in motion for
A
a
pod
second.
request.
I don't even think you need a problem.
No.
No, I
Then
just
Hope, you
mask
should
are
make your own
available.
motion.
Mask are, I wanna make a motion,
You're right,
mask are
you're right.
available.
Sorry, Catherine.
That's all you gotta put up there, because you don't need to give them an option of yes or no, and you check in the office, that's out of the
We
question.
don't have an option of yes or no, so,
What's that?
I mean, it's
See how
not an
much
option.
time we've talked
Yeah, all right, I
about this?
think
Well, I know,
This is how much of a hot button it is.
I know.
I know, that's all I do.
And
That's it.
there's the
That's
board
it.
that can't come to an agreement on it.
I know.
So I think we've already kind of solved the problem.
I
It goes
think we
back to
did
the
come to an agreement
business.
tonight. I think we said we left it to the building level
I know.
administrators.
I think that's covered with that.
Yeah.
So. I know our opinion.
So we've provided feedback and the
Yep.
administration
Got
can
it.
do as they
On
wish.
it.
This is.
Any other public comment? Anyone out in Zoom land have public comment or anything?
Oh, we lost you during that discussion.
Oh,
Oh, my
Not
God.
kidding.
Bring them back up. I wanna hear what they had to say.
They're over it.
I will point out that in the informational section of your packet, you do have the minutes of the checklist for the minutes of non-public
Yeah.
sessions.
So.
So as promised, there it is.
Um,
Kind of nice.
One, I have two other notes.
Just wrap
One
it.
is on the subcommittees, the board subcommittees, list. Co-curricular activities committee says quarterly at 3:15, and we had talked about doing every other month, so bi-monthly at 3:30.
That's right.
yeah, that should be.
And then, last, I hate to do this, but, is it possible for me to change my vote for the, approval of the minutes of February 22nd? I believe I can still make the motion,
Yeah,
or second, or whatever I did, but I was not actually at the February 22nd, meeting, because that was the night of the boys' basketball Final Four.
that's right.
Can you
Yeah,
change your vote to abstention?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay.
I
All
have to
right.
make sure to do that in public.
No, that's good.
Everything
That's
above
good.
board.
All above board. All right. All right, personnel, we have resignations here as presented.
You do. You have the resignation sheet in front of you. It is green.
Okay,
It is Jen Hammond, the girls varsity field hockey coach. After some wonderful service to the district, has decided to resign that position for next year.
all right. Entertain a motion there.
Oh, wait,
Make a
not
motion
yet,
that
not yet.
we
No, I'm waiting.
accept with regret, the resignation as presented.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed and abstentions, that passes. All right,
Motion to go out non-public.
let's say we have non-public.
Yes.
Into
We do for the
Based-
purposes of
based on that,
hiring
Yeah.
and tuition waiver.
All right, so bar RSA 91A32 BC.
That's what I said.
All right, Bruce, go.
Yes.
Tim
Was there a
Joseph said
second?
yes.
Sorry, I missed
Oh,
it.
sorry.
Second.
Thank you.
Yeah. Daniel Thompson.
He's going too quick.
Oh, my God.
I don't usually say the 91 thing, I just do.
Yeah, I know. All right, Bruce said yes, I said yes. Danielle?
Yes.
Kathleen? Going to non-public?
What's that?
Kathleen, yes or no?
Wait.
Yes. No, you're not.
There's too many distractions.
Hope?
Yes?
Yes, okay, we are in non-public.
You go, those need to go.
Hope, yes. I've done that too. It's gonna be like, what, huh?
He needs
Yeah.
to get up and eat.
I'll take my yellow.
Oh, I killed, my back's killing me.
Thank you.
Because I'd be like,